Today seems to be an auspicious day on two counts. Number one, the sun has started shining, and the other is that results are out. So good for us, good for IIT admissions. In fact, this is very fun. Today, it's my pleasure and privilege to introduce to you 6 luminaries who have worked hard last few years in shaping the careers of people. Introduction is a very odd word because most of you would already know them, fine. So the very fact that you have made it to this classroom means that you must have interacted with one or the other of them, fine. But still, it's a formality for those who have not interacted with a specific individual, fine. They represent different zones of India, they have different expertise, and they have different client base, or I must say fan base. Starting with the extreme left, Maruti has flown all the way from Hyderabad. He represents Krakow. The profile is amazing. In fact, all the profiles are really good. So IIT Bangalore, I'm Ahmedabad. Ex-investment banker. And I don't know whether he plays chess because he is good at coaching and training, or it's the other way around. But an avid chess player, Maruti Kunduri, Krakow. Sitting next to him is Manish. Manish is a product of IFT and University of Oxford, Said School of Business. I understand that he has been a part of media industry. Political marketing, I believe, is one of the activities he has been involved in. And he's the chief mentor of IMS Patna. So all those who have used the content of IMS learning would really appreciate his contribution to this industry. Of course, in the middle we have a familiar name, Ravneet Singh, CET King. Again, an engineer from NIT, JBIMS, this is Mumbai University, correct? Wonderful. And he has started with consulting business in UK, and after collecting lots of pounds and sterlings, he came back to India and started telling people how to get into an MBA and make more money. Welcome, Raghu. Then we have Rajesh. Rajesh, I think, has traveled the farthest, coming all the way from Chennai, and I was really concerned about him wearing only a sweater in this very God already has been kind. I think the sun has shone only for him. Rajesh profile, again, IIT Madras, IIM Bangalore, investment banking, and then he starts his venture to IIM, which is really doing very, very well. And of course, as I understand, you are actually passionate about mathematics, right? Wonderful, wonderful. Ravi has come all the way from Bangalore. Rodha is the institution he represents. He is also an engineer. I mean, all these engineers. I'm glad to keep Saurabh in the end because he's an exception. So an engineer, Ravi Prakash. And if I talk about his affiliations, he has been a part of this coaching and training business for long. You take any big name, you take of Career Launcher, Time, IMS, Unacademy, he has been part of all these. But now he is based out of Bangalore. Rodha is your venture. And the only non-engineer, am I right, Saurabh?
Yes.
In the group is Saurabh, but then he's from CBS, DU, College of Business Studies. And then he goes to XLRI. So all good names, brand stamps, fine. And he is primarily known for his venture study, because most of you would know him for that, but he is also into a new venture, which is Skillbuzz, and that's equally exciting. I hope you'll get to hear more about that venture also as the day progresses. So without wasting much time, I think hand over the proceedings to the panel. I think there are more meaningful things to share. Thank you, everyone. Over to you.
Thank you so much, sir, for this insightful and interesting introduction. And I welcome all the panelists today, and I'm very excited to have this discussion. It is probably the first time. I believe most of the MBA students are going to watch this piece of content, and if I take a cumulative total here, it is more than 15 lakh subscribers sitting on the panel, right? So if I talk about the startup ecosystem, I believe India is the third largest startup ecosystem in the world with more than 1 lakh registered startups. And YouTube is one of the most watched platforms. And today we are going to have a discussion talking about both and how they work in sync. And probably these are the best guys who can help us with the right set of discussion. So, but first things first, how does it feel to be the part of this YouTube ecosystem? Professor Maruti sir, how does it feel?
I think YouTube helped us quite a lot, but we actually landed upon it accidentally. Like we started in 2014, and we never really put a lot of videos on YouTube for the first 3-4 years, which in hindsight seems such a silly mistake to do. It is right now, if anybody asks, that I would say is the first thing you should do to create some sort of a vibe, to get the word out. That is the easiest way to do it. But we didn't do it till 2014, or till 2017 or 2018, when suddenly one video went viral. Once one video went viral and people started recognizing our name and we started getting some traffic, then we realized the importance. And then we shifted a lot of focus and we are doing a lot of marketing on YouTube. So it is a very easy way to reach a lot of people.
So Ramnesh sir, I believe you were probably the first of the channels who started on YouTube.
2011.
2011. So before when you started in 2011 and when you see it today, like it's been a journey of good 12 years. How do you see is your shift as an entrepreneur?
For my shift, so it started by accident. So by accident mean, so students ask me every day, sir, how to improve my score. So I have to give same gyan every day. So I make a video, ke bhai tu video dekh le, you'll understand everything. That's how we started. So एक channel, one video, second video. And the moment that when the video start going viral, we have more views, then you realize the value of this. But yeah, things have evolved a lot. So we have become more professional from that point of view. So one thing which I felt that during this journey, there was a link between the students were going off, so becoming more like a celebrity wali feeling आना शुरू हुआ था. But then I stopped myself. No, let me be a teacher. So whenever I introduce myself, always say I'm here to help students. So for me, there is no business part. I never see the subscriber. I would never see this thing. So for me, it's more helping students. That's it. And then never saw it as a business.
Interesting. So on the contrary, Manish sir, you have seen probably this YouTube thing from the outside more. Yeah. And working on more on the offline side. So how do you see this complete ecosystem from outside?
What I would say that YouTube has essentially democratized education, and let me spoke these guys a bit. I feel that for content now nobody is going to really come to a faculty or something. It is their persona, it is their how they really take them to the next level is what this entire the future of education business is going to be there. Like I feel that people go to content to YouTube and they will just take that. Now how a YouTuber is going to add value beyond content is going to be how they differentiate from them. So I have seen IMS, we were a staunch, we started off with something like a correspondence company, and we are back to a different name. So we are very strong online now with a lot of test series and other content. So yes, YouTube has democratized everything. Can I just add for 30 seconds is that none of them would have thought that they would be here somewhere around 10-12 years back. So the future of business is something which is very, now with virtual reality, augmented reality coming up, maybe you will see Maruti or Bala being there in each one of our home, and they teaching 1,000 people at one time, maybe Ravi doing the same thing. So it's going to be very crazy in future, and it might not be YouTube. It could be something else we might be discussing 5 years hence. So it is pretty exciting how things are going.
Sir, adding to that only, Rajesh, sir, you have been a key player in offline and online. How do you see the symmetry in between? Because when you go YouTube and when you start teaching live online, there has to be a different pedagogy which has to be followed versus when we teach offline. So do you think the future is going to be a blend, or is it going to be online or offline, and how YouTube is going to shape that?
I think right now everybody is talking about the blend. Right now I think the blend is not really a blend but two parallel tracks. And the preference is someone likes, bunch of people like classroom, bunch of people like online. So all of us who are offering courses, we offer one or the other. And then we claim it to be the blend. It's not a blend as much as two tracks. I think the future is going to be more blended. I think there's the bar for an online presence for classroom course is going up, which is why I think IMS has totally amped their game up. I see their product and I say, I think they didn't pitch online aggressively because they have a legacy business, but they have brought in the strength of online into that. And us, we are complete guys who are more aggressively online. We realized the value of the interaction. and having a sales engine that's offline, of meeting people in the real world. Especially after COVID, we have got I think all of us have a fascination for really meeting people. So it does play a role in the vibe thing. But right now the blend is not there, but I think the blend is going to become more crucial. I think it's going to be a differentiator both ways, and particularly for people who are offline. I think people are going to demand a hygiene factor online for sure, from every offline player, for sure. The other way around may not be such an important thing because online is right now a more conscious choice. People say, I'm going to go online, I'm going there. So the guys who are comfortable online are going to say, look, I don't need a physical presence. But the guys who are going to a physical class, they'll want a revision package and a mock package and an analysis package and one-on-one mentorship. All of that, they will expect that online pack to sit on top of it. From a business point of view, I think whoever can really come up with a good blend, they're going to do well. Online only, offline only will be there, but I think the blend will start playing.
That's interesting. So coming to you, Ravi sir, probably he's the one who has worked with biggest of the players, and now you are doing your own venture, and now in this particular space. How do you see your journey from working with the EdTech startups to starting on your own to doing YouTube? So now you are a YouTuber or entrepreneur or educator.
I would say first of all, I think all of us would be educator, entrepreneur first, not YouTuber. I think I'm speaking for all of us. I think YouTuber. Sorry, Ravi, I'm jumping.
He's a proper YouTuber.
YouTuber has come to mean a broad basket of things, and I think we'll all be reluctant to be described as YouTubers.
Educator first and anything else later.
Anything else later. I think we're using YouTube as a toolkit for that. Sorry.
That's how I started Simmons. YouTube as a toolkit. Easiest way to reach the audience. And when I started around 2018, I just saw that when online utna to koi effort nahi tha. I think very less technology, people used to teach on board and record and everything. So at that time I founded few softwares and ki jo अच्छा चलता था, and at that time when I started in 2018, so basically there was no face in the cat market. So I started Maruti sir video with Rajesh sir video and seeing all these guys. So they're teaching lightly, like utna ko YouTube leta nahi seriously. So I started like full-fledged. Let's record 300 videos in a year. Let's break everything. YouTube told कि 1 video $1 per day. I put 300 videos in 3 days. Seriously. Let's put everything on YouTube and let's see how it goes from there. Okay. So that's how my journey started, and now as an entrepreneur, YouTube plays a special part here. वो हमेशा है because that audience reach is there. I really know that many guys are there who are not so like financially इतना well नहीं है. So they study from YouTube and they get to these colleges. I think बहुत लोग होंगे यहाँ पे जो YouTube से ही पढ़ के आए हैं. So YouTube is still very close to me. So but as a journey, like हाँ अब आपको YouTube से आगे से देखना है, right? Because lot of guys are not only on YouTube. They've said spam हो रहा है. You would go live and that hygiene is not in YouTube. Okay, so you have to be with a pattern part. But YouTube is very close to heart.
Definitely.
So we want to know about your story as well, because you consciously decided not to show the face. So we were talking about this earlier.
So it was, when I started, I always say that I was an entrepreneur by choice, and then YouTube happened in between. So I was trying a lot of things, and then when I started with YouTube, I was primarily taking a conscious decision that I will start it without a face, just to keep that independent. So whenever I go to any campus and people say that we are from study bus and then they don't know me, I feel that I have done the branding the right way. So that has been what has been always said, but that has been a conscious choice, came with an opportunity cost as well.
But now you are on the face. Your face is there. Still
Not like still in probably 1 or 2% of the videos. Yeah, that's how it has been. But sir, taking the discussion forward, because we generally come from all the EdTech platform, but when we talk of YouTube as a platform, and when we think of that how YouTube is going as a business and how is it going to impact in the startup ecosystem, so what do you think? Like, because 5 years ago when we were talking about YouTube, it was exploding in the best possible way. But today I feel that YouTube is also getting saturated, Instagram is taking over, then AI is coming up, ChatGPT is there who is creating answers for everything. So how do we think that YouTube is going to shape the startup ecosystem in probably 10 years hence?
Can I take that?
Definitely, sir.
So, if you see a bit of some kind of signs are coming up, Duolingo is reaching now, I think, around more than 65 million customers. and there's no one who's teaching. It's technology who's teaching. I feel that the future of learning is going to be very personalized kind of a learning, where all these guys are going to be providing content through technology, and maybe they will become mentor of each and one of. So personalized kind of consultant to every student. So I see it's going very micro and personalized, and the customers are going to, the students are going to demand based on who am I, where I should move, what I should do. And YouTube and other technology are going to be tool. That's what which brings me to the first thing, is that everybody knows now the content. Earlier the problem was that the quality was not there. There was no benchmarking of the quality. Now each one of us see everyone, right? Even students look at each other. So you can't come up with something really, that X factor, that can only come through a personality, that you can be attracted to one person. But content per se is there, everywhere. So how do you add value to a prospective student is where I feel that it's going to use a lot of AI, a lot of technology. So a student comes to me, I would rather take a test and say, okay, you are here. You don't need quants. You need only English. You only need DILR. And then work on these. You need to reach here. And then the job is over. Probably these guys are going to do something very similar in future. But that's my own.
Very interesting point. I think one part I agree with, one part I'm going to disagree with. I think it's going to go adaptive more aggressively. I think the crux of what he's saying is it will get customized. I think the first part of customization will become adaptive. What are you good at? Where do you stand? How can you, the learning path? With AI tools, it will become adaptive easier. But I think on content, I think all of us here, we still believe that content differentiation is possible with the teacher. The reason to exist for us to teach slightly differently. I think there's a branding, there's a group of people that are like personality driven, which is like what they are about is why we go to their YouTube channel. But in the EdTech segment is still pedagogy driven. Isn't that I connect with the teacher, but because of the way he breaks down the idea, because of the way he can make this one, we all have one teacher who taught one thing in 6th standard that's still in our head. When all of us here, I think our dream would be to break one idea such that it just stays for a lifetime. So we spend a lot of time in trying to think of tools in which we just drill one funda in. I think pedagogy will continue to be a differentiator. I think otherwise we don't have a reason to exist. So I think it's not going to be that heavily, the personality driven momentum is huge. In many ways we are all swimming against the tide. Because right now YouTube has gone from content to personality rather rapidly. Led by Instagram as well. The influencer era is upon us. It's not going to come. It's right here. And I think we are not part of that. We are still part of the teacher era. So I still think the influencer thing is the boundary in the marketing and the wrapper around it. The content is not just questions. The way you break down an idea will still play a role. But on the part where it gets customized aggressively, I think it's going to get adaptive first, customized later. Adaptive is going to be the next thing for learning. 10 years ago, people used to ask us, how many questions are there? How many books are there? Tumhara book ka daam kya hai? Or how much does it not cost, how much does it weigh? Sorry, maybe I'm getting my Hindi mixed. So how much does it weigh? And I was really surprised. How is it material to you? Now I think we will go to a point where it says, I don't want 10,000 questions. I want my 800 questions that can take me to a point. Which is where the tech can play a gigantic role. All of us, I think, will be thinking about adaptive kya karenge. That is going to play a role. That is going to play a role to shorten the learning path. Right now, it's one big bucket. YouTube as a bucket is a killer for us also. Because YouTube kills pricing power like nothing else. Because the guy who has time doesn't need to pay money.
In any segments.
Any segment. YouTube kills pricing power across the board. From business point of view. YouTube is the monster. And they are free. And because they are the marketing funnel for everybody, you take 6 funnels that's bigger than any product. In terms of content. So the content part, the way you can differentiate with pedagogy, the way you can put a structure around it, all that will matter.
If I answer this question, I'm sorry. 10 years ago, Orkut used to be there. Then the Facebook came, now the Instagram is going on. So technology is going to evolve. So I'm sure YouTube is not going to last for long. There will be other more advanced technologies, maybe advancement in terms of we can choose what you want to choose. Because today, if I want to search something, I can only search if I have time. Suppose I want to search a shortcut for the particular topic, there will be hundreds of videos. उनमें से कौन सा काम का वीडियो है वो ढूंढते ही energy निकल जाएगा.
I was coming to that question only, Martha. Do you also believe that over content on
Correct.
YouTube. Earlier there was a scarcity of content, but now there is more than like required content. And adding it with AI, in future, do we think it is going to become more personalized, or is it going to add more chaos?
See, right now, for example, I'm also a chess player, but I'm a club level chess player. I want to improve in chess. Now I don't know what to do to improve. I know chess decently, but I watch many videos on YouTube. But that doesn't help me get better. Now if I have a coach, he tells me this is your weakness, focus on this. Then that helps, and it has helped me also. Okay, I specifically know that I'm a better player because of some proper advice that was given about what my weakness is. It is difficult for me to analyze on my own that okay, this is where I need to improve because I don't really know. You see what I'm saying, right? So in a similar way, if somebody is relying only on YouTube, even with a lot of time, it is possible that they will succeed, but I think it is much better to have somebody to actually guide you through. So it is not just about the content.
That's very important, I believe. And what I feel that over the last 5 years, like as we all are talking about that YouTube has been a toolkit. But in the last 5 years, I believe YouTube as a career has also evolved. Like people want to get into completely there.
Yeah.
And yesterday when I was calculating the total number of videos, it was more than 10,000 videos, cumulative, what we have created on YouTube. So I want to understand a very interesting question. I believe a lot of people who would be watching this later on or who are hearing right now. What is the secret sauce to remain sustainable over YouTube? Because every day there are thousands of channels which are created. Every day there are hundreds of channels which are closing down. But what is that one thing which is keeping us going? So what do you think? What is the secret sauce? Because every day waking up, creating a content without having students in front, and we are just talking to ourselves and recording videos. How difficult is it to become consistent in this segment? Vis-a-vis how important, and what is the secret sauce if someone aspires to start something over YouTube? Not related to EdTech, but in any field.
I'll take this.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Go for it.
For me, the only thing matter is the students. So for me, when you say how to stay relevant, what to put, so I listen to them every day. So on the YouTube, so for me, if you ask me, I have one group for the family, I have 100 group for the cats at all the exams. So every day something or the other coming up, some news, anything coming up. So I pick up my content from them. So whenever so for me, how to stay relevant, how to talk to them is help them. My business model is very simple. These are students there, they need help. Help them, you will never be out of business.
Ravi sir, what is your thought?
I think upskilling is the key in any segment. Take a wait, like a lot of guys here are doing in digital, I know digital marketing and everything, right? So YouTube आपको एक first level दे देता है, right? You know nothing about SEO, learn from YouTube, right? But as sir told, not just sir told, अब उसके बाद क्या? How to move ahead, right? SEO you know, fine. But उसमें आपको एक particular you need to come at top 1%, right? उस skill में आपको top 1% आने के लिए you need a coach, that's for sure, right? And both coach आपको how do you get it from YouTube will help that branding for that coaches also, okay, and this exists in any segment. So that's how basically you evolve over YouTube, okay. So first level is fine, but उसके बाद then you have to grow yourself, and in that skill like out of 100 guys seeing a digital marketing video, सब कोई सीख रहा है, सब कोई SEO सीख रहा है. अब उसके बाद top 1% में आओगे ना, तो फिर कैसे job मिलेगा? तो ये तो fight है ना YouTube.
I think on YouTube, getting onto YouTube also, on YouTube for all of us, YouTube, there's two business models on YouTube. One is you hit YouTube to start your funnel, and then they come to you in some 1%, 2%, 3%, and then you offer them a package or a service or that. Other thing is to have YouTube as a revenue model. I think part 2 is very difficult. You need to be a whole different, then relevance matters, then being topical matters. That's the social media game, then that's you're an influencer. So starting from Mr. Beast to who are starting thinking of doing something now, that whole thing is not something that I think we are part of. For us, YouTube is a funnel to get people to know about us and then inquire about us and think about what is relevant for them. We guide them, we give them. So YouTube as a funnel is very powerful. But YouTube as a business model in itself, super tiring. It's a whole different treadmill. Then the variables are not the variables we think of. I think about engagement, I think about audience retention, I think about, I don't think any of us thinks about ad placement or ad revenue. The YouTube ad revenue for us will be less than 0.5% of our revenue. We cannot, very often we think, at least I've thought about it long and hard to just not have it. I'm worried that YouTube has an algorithm that will promote only ad videos, therefore I'm taking that money. But otherwise that money is not part of our business model at all.
But leaving that EdTech thing aside, I believe other stream, like for example, if we talk about the lifestyle content or probably talking about the brand collaborations, So YouTube has evolved as a business as well in other segments.
Yeah.
And sir, Manish sir, what do you think? Like when you come from a background which is completely into offline space and then transitioning to online, taking YouTube, like you said that now we are putting focus on YouTube as well. So how do you think, how difficult is it to transition from offline to online?
So
terms of
I can
teaching, in
talk
terms of
about,
delivery
because
point.
I've been privy to a lot of meetings of IMS into when we used to have discussion. I think, you know, all of us, a lot of us are professional managers, and we understood that technology is the key, and that is what it has, you know, it's going to move the industry forward. And if you are left behind in tech space, I don't think you would be the choice of customers. You look at any field for that matters. So the appreciation of technology is there, and in the future is going to evolve around it. It was not so difficult for us as such, because we always appreciated technology as an organization. It's just that the back end was not there, which you can nowadays, you can buy, hire, and you know, you can deliver. The moment CAD became online, the entire testing, that day itself, you know, it was pretty clear that where the direction is moving, and people came together, and I think, so I can talk about some of the competitors also, like Career Launcher. In their DNA itself, technology was there. It was Intel funded. So, and it's one part of the industry, right? So everybody look at each other, what they are doing, and they quickly adapt. So I think now, personally, I believe that every organization is going to be a mixture of tech, and tech is going to be the major part of their, the entire product offering. And whatever way and mix you do it. But I would like to take you to the previous question. A lot of times, for you to be relevant offline, like it was my very conscious decision not to be on YouTube, right? Because I was in, like, I'm bound by IMS, so there were two regions, Patna and Kolkata. So I would feel that anyway they are looking at these guys. If I am there, what do I bring? What differentiation I really bring? So it was like, a lot of people are doing it. There are some very popular guys in different locations who have thousands of students with them, and I've spoken to them, the conscious decision not to be there. So that's also a strategy to make yourself relevant in a localized market. Obviously, if you look at the entire country, which these guys are looking at. So it's very interesting how you can...
No, sometimes we have been very good lead generators, mostly for them. But they get to know about
yeah,
the
absolutely,
easy
absolutely.
point,
I would agree with
and
that.
then they want to go to the physical point to talk to somebody. And none of us has a severe local presence. So very often our audience has no way of buying our product. They don't want something online. Then we are offering a tick mark for curiosity, a tick mark for knowledge, and then revenues to somebody else.
and what they have done very well, that kudos to all of them, is that they've now benchmarked the content. Now, so therefore, you know, it was earlier possible for you to be not so good, and that would apply to you all of you guys also. Like, you're being looked at it that way, and professors also. So you know, it's for all of you, because people would just write best digital marketing professor. Now, if you are not creative, if you are not original, then you are caught. So, you know, so what they have done is, by putting standard content, is that nobody can really hide themselves, and that is something which I really want to congratulate them, right? Because, and for everyone in education space or anything, people now look at quality instantly, because we just type best in that field. So that's not, so YouTube, if you look at what it has done, is that really, really nicely it has benchmarked a very highest level of quality. And then that's something which is very interesting, which I take it across businesses.
So, but on adding to that thing only, I believe that we all agree to the fact that YouTube has democratized the education. And on the other hand, in the last 5 years, if any sector has grown, that is the EdTech, where a lot of big billion-dollar unicorns have entered.
Absolutely.
And did a lot of things.
Gone bust.
And now they are facing the funding winter. And I believe most of us sitting here are bootstrapped companies. How do you see the parallel analogy between both, where the EdTech industry, who has been a unicorn startup, a lot of unicorn startups have gone down or probably facing a lot of issues, vis-a-vis bootstrap startups who have done and started their journey via YouTube. So can we draw some kind of analogy based on this, how we are going to see this EdTech startup space in the next 5 years? Because we probably have grown via YouTube, but then a lot of EdTech startups which probably they were trying to solve a problem which did not even work together, or something is going to overpower other.
See, if you're looking at funding, or if you're looking at a startup, if somebody is looking at a 5 billion or a 10 billion market, then I think there is some chance of becoming a unicorn. Cat market is very small. Okay, there is no way anybody is going to become a $1 billion company by giving cat test prep. Now, once you acknowledge it, there is no need to take any funding. Okay, you can grow slightly slowly, and you won't even get funding because VCs don't want to fund a company which will be a 30 million or a $40 million company. They want you to be a 5 billion, 10 billion, maybe more. So many of the companies which became unicorns, I think they became unicorns based on some storytelling where they showed a very rosy picture which never really existed.
I think even extrapolating, I think EdTech itself is a series of niches.
Yeah.
I think there's one teacher who's really good at teaching one idea. I think with YouTube, I think you used a wonderful word, which is democratized content generation. So if I'm really good at physics, then I can carve a positioning for myself in physics, have a brand in physics, extrapolate, reach out on YouTube, carve one niche. I can even say, look, I'm good at physics for 6th, 7th, 8th kids. I'm not doing the JE thing, I'm not doing the master's thing. I'll do this really well. And it could be a passion project, it could be fun, but you can carve niches out of it. It is very teacher driven like that. So the YouTube has given room and wings for niches to develop. So each of us get like chess, there are probably 100 wonderful coaches who are driven by YouTube and Twitch. And then they get them onto their platforms also, and then they serve nice small crowds with good niches. I think EdTech is going to go around more towards niches, local brands and niche positioning. What used to be a very good partner IMS thing will probably now become a very good LRDI niche. So it could be subject wise and not geography wise. But YouTube gives birth to niches really well, and EdTech is very amenable for that. Because you get one guy who teaches really well. If his audience geography is expanded, then there's a viable business. But having said that, by definition, if you have a niche, then it doesn't have scale. Exactly what he's talking about. I think the scale thing is a mirage. And I think the companies that came with it said, look, we could have one size fits all solution for everybody, which is tricky. Or we could get everybody under one umbrella, which is also tricky. Not just because of the egos or whatever, but because educators are very passionate people. They'll want to do it their way and their style. So that's why I think it doesn't sit under one giant umbrella or one size fits all. I think the EdTech content development and technology and innovative pedagogy, that will grow. I don't know whether the EdTech industry will have the buzz or the coolness. I think there have been two different things for the last 5 years. It's just that we got development from one end and news from the other.
I would just add something, just a recent news. 2 days back, policy making is going to be impacting every industry it impacts, this industry also. So some good news for, for Baiju and other EdTech. Government of India has mandated that till 16 years you cannot go into a coaching institution. And that means that this industry is going to explode now, especially because these all 6-7 guys who used to go to quota in 6th standard, 7th standard, they won't be able to go now. And I don't know how they would evolve and what they would do. Maybe they would change, they would have more of schools out there in quota and say, okay, I'll integrate the course. They will do something about it. But I think that's a very big boost. So policies, how they are going to go, is both an opportunity as well as a threat, because this one-liner has ensured lakhs of teachers being unemployed in smaller towns because they don't have that school with them. At the same time, there's a lot of opportunity in EdTech and industry. So both ways. So how the government is going to really look at this, because the larger this industry is going to be there, you will see more of policies coming up and government's mind moving in towards that. So this is a nascent stage. It is going to really go up.
Ramani sir, how do you think? How do you take your perspective?
So if I go back to the topic, which was about the bootstrap versus all the funding thing, I've been getting funding offers, acquisition, merger offers since 2012, when I was the first year into the business. Every year somebody is coming up with a good idea, good proposition. So the 50 CR I was getting offer in 2014. So when you said that it's not possible, it's possible. Every year I used to get one offer there, 50 CR. But problem is they are taking away your soul. Fine. So, and that's where the problem is. All of us are here because of education.
Hamara soul to pehle hi bik chuka. You'd have taken.
I was a consultant, so already been sold to somebody else.
He needs to tell me who. Please tell me later.
So everyone. Yeah. sorry. So coming back to the point is the problem was they're pitching the wrong people. So we are going to education. Like sir can start any day his own, but he don't want to because he loves to do what we do. So you are putting a price on something which is not there. So I was told by one of these bankers, okay, you are a overpriced teacher. So I don't mind being that. I am a teacher, end of the day. So yeah, so the number game didn't work for me.
Okay. Ramprakash sir, how do you think moving from EdTech to now your own YouTube journey?
EdTech to YouTube, yeah, YouTube to EdTech.
And then again back to YouTube.
Journey has been good, yeah, but yeah, lot of like अभी जो discussion था bootstrap versus and all that. I think EdTech को unnecessarily shouldn't inflate. Okay, even suddenly you're giving 500 crores. Now you got to bring in students, you got to increase the prices. So as a problem, I don't think existing. Okay, so we are running well right now, 3 months old company, bootstrapped, and I think all the and I had a discussion with Maruti sir yesterday also. We don't need to inflate that much into EdTech. It is like probably it's fine. We can run a decent even if you combine multiple test strips also. Suddenly the problem is that anyone is starting a company. How can we unicorn? Okay, so a lot of my students are in first year, second year, this IIMs and they'll get message, sir, unicorn कैसे बनेंगे sir? Sir, मैंने अपना YouTube channel start किया, sir, unicorn बनना है मेरे को. The problem is suddenly you want to just inflate, okay? But our patients have that grow that skill, ठीक है? Have that patience. YouTube से brand बनाओ, ठीक है? Then move to any of the platform. You want to a lot of these guys want to be content creators. So I started channel lifestyle. Pick a niche पहले तो कहाँ पे करना है काम? Suddenly not what people are what they're saying वहीं पे करते हैं. Okay, so the ideas is very important. Cracking ideas is important. Okay, problem कहाँ पे hit करना important है. तुम भी अपना views दो.
No sir, what I feel is that like a lot of time, like everyone in our life at least have got this one idea which we think that it is a unicorn idea, it is going to be $1 billion idea. But what I've always felt it is more than idea, more about implementation. How do we execute? And in the EdTech, teachers are going to be the most pivotal role. They are going to play the most important role when it comes to the execution part. And that is one of the reasons that technology, or for that matter unicorn, or for that matter AI cannot overtake us for some reason, because we provide some element of personalized teaching which students might enjoy. So when it comes to building a unicorn, I believe it is more of a consistent journey. You cannot make a unicorn by thinking about it. Most of the unicorns which have been created in India, probably they did not think that way, that we are going to become unicorn someday. Or for that matter Google or Microsoft, they did not imagine that we are going to become this big. You just keep on working on what you are doing, and just like you said that we have to enjoy whatever we are doing, then only probably we can. If we just start with that thought that okay, tomorrow I have to become a $10 million subscriber channel, it do not happen that way. It goes in a very consistent way, and I believe that requires a lot. And I believe most of the channels who are there have created very regular and consistent content. That is one of the reasons to remain successful on YouTube. YouTube does not allow that you put one video and then you get vanished for next 6 months and then suddenly become. We have to create content every single day, and that's the most key element. And
what we tell students, then need to apply on ourselves. Trust the process.
Saurabh, can I add something? Because these are all young guys out there. So I can just share my experiences. I've looked at this industry and other industry also. If you look at US, in the last 5-6 years, a lot of business schools, they've closed down, and I'm saying with some context, looking at, because they were pretty much liberal arts colleges, and they used to think that management is an art. But now if you look at how industry has evolved and the way tech is moving, actually management is becoming a science, more of a science. So only those business schools are thriving and are moving forward which are tech MBAs. Now, we are discussing a very micro YouTube as this thing, but overall if you see, my understanding and a bit of, in a humble way, and advice would be for each one of you is that you look at how you may be an engineer, you may not be engineer, it doesn't matter, but you must, and each one of us must appreciate technology. And very importantly, because see, I am 48 now, so I've seen a lot. Many of these guys are like pretty young. So a lot of times, like we are now talking about artificial intelligence. It was there for the last 50 years. So what happens, like a technology is first in a very deceptive mode. Like now we are talking about blockchain, 3D printing. We've been talking for 4 or 5 years. But one day, manufacturing sector will be gone. We are going to print this at our home, everything. Now, I think for budding managers, you will have to, either you can intuitively enter into an industry where your skills match with that industry, especially a sunrise industry. So if you look at Baiju, in fact, intuitively, because he was very good, he entered. So I looked at Baiju right from beginning when he used to come to Patna and say, so I had a couple of times meeting and said, why don't you teach for us? I said, I am already with IMS, so I won't be able to. So he said, can you help me out setting up something? So he was like very much into tech and scale. He used to talk at that time scale. So even if you want to create $1 billion industry, I feel it is possible. The way you think, maybe blockchain, maybe something else, it may not happen through YouTube, but it would happen because technology is very deceptive initially. If you are able to see through what others and we are not able to, you would be able to create those unicorns out of that. Because now if you see people are talking about technology being AI, but it's been there, and a lot of people who went into these industries right at the beginning are getting the rewards. I feel blockchain and 3D printing is at that stage. It's moved beyond deception, now people know it, right? So I personally feel that in 5 years, 7 years time, which I'll come back to virtual reality and augmented reality, I think all of the young people are going to consume these guys through that medium and may not be YouTube. That's what my understanding is.
Things will evolve.
Definitely, sir. And I believe there is a little bit of shortage of time, so I will just quickly have a rapid fire with all of you. 2 quick questions for each one of you. Number one is that probably if not YouTube, what you would have been doing? If not via YouTube or not YouTube. And another thing is that if you have to give one advice to your younger self who is probably starting on YouTube, what that advice would be after spending years in this industry?
If not YouTube, I don't know. Maybe I'll just tell you that if not in this industry, I would have probably been doing some PhD somewhere and probably been a teacher only, but teacher of a different genre. Now, advice to my earlier self, I would say that at that time I was very optimistic, which was very needed. If you're starting up, if you're not irrationally optimistic, you can't start up. So I would say that is a good thing. But other than that, I would say maybe be more regular at YouTube at the start, which I was not.
Yes, sir.
So I'm not a YouTuber, but
So
yes.
how do you see YouTube? Is
not
it
this
an
industry.
awareness platform, or is it a branding platform, or a sales funnel, or something?
Yes, so I would agree with what Bala was saying, that it's not a sales funnel as such, but yes, you can attract through your personality, through your content, and then can really channelize into a sales. But coming to your first question, so I got married pretty early, 24. 27, I had a son, and I didn't know what I would do. So at 28, 29, I understood that I'm going to do something which is to do with communication. And therefore, teaching and even politics for that matter, I've moved into that, in the last couple of years. That involves a lot of policy, teaching. So something related to academic activity and something which would involve communication is something which I think, had I not been doing CAT, I would have done that.
So I assume that advice to younger self would be to get married later.
Get married early. Why are you saying that?
Ramesh, sir.
I'm sorry, I missed the question again. The first question was about?
If not YouTube.
If not YouTube, what? Okay, I've been a consultant and still a consultant. So मेरा काम है help करना, तो बाबा जी मतलब ज्ञान देना. Babas are not good in India today, so I don't want to be Baba. But yeah, to give gyan in one way or the other. If not CAT, then maybe on relationship advice. So I'm going to write a book on that next, on how to be better relationship, how to be better relationships. That's
Provide one
what
copy to each of.
Yeah, free copy to everyone. It's free copy.
Thank you.
Everyone needs that, so this is common everywhere. So yeah, I will be advisor, whichever way, or one way or the other. And any advice to myself, I would say follow your heart. So I've been there, I was studying a lot. I was studying till the age of 30, and I was working after that. I never lived my life. So I was living in London for 5 years. I've not traveled much. I'm 1 hour away from Iceland, 1 hour from a lot of beautiful things, which I'm doing now, but I could have done it earlier as well.
If I had not been on YouTube, I would have been a teacher. So I always had teaching at some point of time. Earlier or later, I would have been a teacher. No doubt about it. My younger self I would have said be more ambitious. I think my upbringing, my background, my middle class fundas and Chennai conservative, all of that, I was severely unambitious at several points. I shouldn't have.
Same answer. So actually, if not YouTube, I would have started a website. Okay, but with cat only, because I was in this field for last 5-6 years. I thought that at 6 years back, there's no good content available. Okay, for all these guys who are not having so much money. Okay, so because all the offline class fees was around 60k, 70k, something like that. So a website similar and try to do SEO and all, attract the people. And younger self will go more aggressive. Be aggressive in your 20s. 20s are time to take risks, take a lot of risks. Okay, and then you can always regret later. To take risks, guys.
So if I put the same question on myself, I would rather think that if not YouTube, I would have been probably even when I started YouTube, I was trying 3-4 other things, something in digital marketing, some things brand building, something in content creation, some or the other form. So I believe I would have enjoyed that startup ecosystem, but I don't know where I would have landed. And another advice to my younger self would be to remain calm, to trust the process. So initially I was driven by numbers, but now I believe. So initially when I started the channel, I was more like, okay, we have got 100 subscribers now. We have got, 20 views today. But now we are more like, okay, we have crossed this number of subscribers, these many views. So we are believing that trust process. And I am extremely thankful to all of you that you took some time out from your busy schedule and became a part of this panel discussion. And one thing, sir, I would like to add on behalf of all of us, I believe be it YouTube, be it startup, be it any journey, be it your MBA or be it anything, I believe the most underrated skill in this world, people talk a lot about IQ, people talk a lot about smart work, intelligence, but I believe people do not talk about, and everyone underestimates consistency as a skill. And I am a very big endorser for the same, that if you are consistent, then you are competent, be it anything, no matter what technology is coming, what companies are coming, what is the competition, but if we are consistent in upskilling ourselves, I believe we can thrive anywhere at any point of time.
These guys would know because all would have got around 90 plus in CAT, 95 in CAT. Okay, so being consistent is like बहुत important.
So this is from our end. So any questions from the audience? Anyone?
So one advice I like to give before we close, sorry to cut you in, is that if you want to start your own business, how many of you want to start your own business in the future, not today, in the future?
Sometime.
So one advice is very simple: start today in the college. You have time. Trust me. Once in the corporate, you will not get time. Fine. Start today.
more of you should think about starting your thing. Be ambitious.
Aggressive.
I guess you need a mic because it will not be captured.
Thank you so much everyone for being there for the insightful session. So I'm there and I'm enrolled in digital marketing. So as Rajesh recently talked about the revenue generation on YouTube being a different ballgame, right? So I was curious to know that a lot of YouTubers have been recently talking about usage of predicting the virality of the content. So they can use different AI tools for understanding how they can understand the virality of the content. So I was curious to know what do you think about the future of predicting the virality and creating content around using AI, because it's a big talk down right now.
So first of all, one thing I want to make it very clear: we are not earning that much from YouTube. People think that we are earning millions. Trust me, we are not. But I'm just recovering my
It doesn't cover our coffee cost.
Seriously, trust me. That's not that
very, very, very low. At
Very
least for
small.
us, it's minuscule.
minuscule. Trust me.
We don't consider it as a revenue stream.
Correct.
So from your point of view on virality and content generation for YouTube, I don't think any of us is in that space right now. I don't think we're going there either, but we're not in that space. For us, YouTube is a branding place and a funnel at best, not anything more than that.
Or to head students, yeah. So that way.
For
So
most
we are
of
not-
us, YouTube is more like a medium through
Correct.
which we can go. And even YouTube is now integrating those things. Like they create the AI captions, they create the AI thumbnails for you, and they are also testing that. And as you are saying that virality of the content, I don't believe, because you also don't know what will get viral. Okay? All of us who are sitting here, probably one of the videos got viral, which we did not expect at all. In the videos we work, on the video there we put our maximum effort, probably get the lowest reach.
Even today happens.
That
Yeah.
has been the reality.
कि ये hit होगा वही flop जाता है.
So how good AI can predict the virality of the topics is still a very debatable topic. But more it learns probably.
But even the virality being predicted, I think that will also become a competitive. But I think the market you're talking about is wildly different from the way we are using it. We're probably not the guys. You should be speaking to the Mr. Beast of the world.
And that's the point where AI fails. Predicting something. Okay, that common sense, that sense, no, that comes from a lot of studying, a lot of upskilling. Okay, so that is where the AI will fail. Okay, will not predict anything. They just work on data. Okay,
I've tried all
you
these
got to
things.
think all these things.
I've tried using AI for last 6 months. I'm struggling. I've never got a single thumbnail which is a good quality thumbnail. I never got a single title which is good. Taglines, everything is all messed up on AI, so it's not there yet.
Probably it is in the very nascent stage, and if you even talk about the prediction via AI, it is based on data and numbers.
Correct.
And sometimes you also don't know what reels you are watching and why you are watching that. You just keep on watching. So when we ourselves do not know our behavior, it is very much difficult for AI to predict what we gonna watch. Because we ourselves do not know what, it just keeps on coming, how the algorithm works, we also not aware. But you will see that you spend 45 minutes on shorts and then suddenly you realize, oh, what happened? Where my 40 minutes gone? So probably it's very...
I would humbly differ a bit. For example, when we were having talk in IMS test series 3 years back, we started using AI. I don't know how many of you have used it, but then in the test series, a lot of new content gets generated, good quality content gets generated, and my understanding is that AI is just what I understand is going to impact us knowingly, unknowingly a lot, and it is much more intelligent than, and it's becoming intelligent second by second, and it's going to impact how, if we do not use it, somebody else is going to use it and move forward for sure. So you will have to really give it to them, because its success, whether it is cancer research or actually finding out the cancer at a nascent stage to everywhere, it is now proven. So I think that even for example, what you are talking about, virality, I personally believe that because I am not aware of how much successful it has been, but the rate at which it is improving, I think one day you will find that there will be competition, as Bala was speaking or something. There will be competition there, but I think it is going to do that. It will become much more scientific. Would understand the psychology behind virality. I think it is a very good question what you have asked.
Any other? Yeah.
Good afternoon, everyone. It was lovely listening to you guys live and not on our smartphones. So, my name is Saurabh. I'm doing marketing here. You talked about over content on internet, right? So, it was from your perspective, from your content creator's perspective. Now, I would like to talk about from a student's perspective. Like, when I search anything on YouTube, I have a lot of contents there. When I go through, I actually studied on Unacademy, so I went across a lot of professors there. So, how do you suggest a student can decide among all those contents which are the best or which should they opt for? Because that wastes time. Because I from my experience, I came across a teacher I was not very much satisfied with. But then I spent 2 months with him and I wasted my time. And then I came across a good teacher that I passed my CAT and ZAT with. So how do you think a student should go about that?
So see, if you identify a good teacher, you should say, look, I'm going to double down and learn more from this person. In many ways, our entire businesses are predicated on that assumption. It's like if Ravi or Maruti or Puneet, we are all doing this, it's basically we feel like, look, we reach this funda, this way of teaching strikes a chord with me, then they double down on teacher and channel, which you should do. If somebody is learning from 7 sources, I'll say, look, if one thing works, stick to that and then learn everything from that. Works for you, you go for that. The search cost is very high in the beginning, but once you have done one round, you should double down.
Exactly. Adding to that point only, I believe that is the beauty of YouTube or probably the democratization of education, that today you have the choices. Just like you said that you spend 2 months and then later on realize. Today you can just evaluate, just see where you find yourself fit, and then you can join the right teacher within probably a span week of hardly a week's time. Right? That's the beauty, that you now have the options. Earlier what was the case, that you had to go through one to another, then the cost was higher. Today you just have to spend let's say 24 hours and you can see the type of content which is there. Right? So that is, and the reason why we all exist in the industry is that there is a very interesting proverb that you cannot make everyone happy. If you want to make everyone happy, sell ice creams. So every student is having a different type of learning pedagogy. So anyone who fits at any point of time can join by evaluating all others. Earlier that was not the case. They were very restricted. Where they have joined, they have to commit and complete their curriculum.
So
But
there's
one
a
thing is
time cost and a money cost. We're always doing a trade-off.
Yeah, but one thing is already there. They don't follow one person. Why? Because nobody's strong in every area. So like everybody have a pockets of excellence. So pick one thing from somewhere, pick other thing from somewhere. You have to do that.
Morning everyone. I am Shreyas, currently pursuing finance here in BGM Finance. So my question is that like panel has talked about various technologies, AR, AI. So and the recent surge in AI generative tools like ChatGPT and those tools getting embedded in most basic finance tools like MS Excel, which are good at doing predictive analysis or data analysis or being getting the real-time risk analysis. So how do you envision the scope of MBA in finance with the surge in this kind of technology?
Can I take that? And then we have two investment bankers out here.
Former investment.
So, yeah. So, okay. So I studied in 1999, derivatives market, so futures and options. At that time, there was no derivatives market in the country itself. So each one of us used to get good jobs. So I went to Singapore, somebody went to London desk and all that. Then derivatives came to India after 3 years, 4 years, this thing. What we used to do at that time, now the algorithm does it. So which is why I'm teaching, right? So I see finance changing like crazy. A lot of stuff is going to get, and it has already happened. But creativity and innovation is something which is our forte as human beings. I think we would always use all these areas to really create new financial products, and therefore I would always say that it's just like a software. Don't get too attached to a software because that software is going to change, right? So similarly, don't get too attached to the new end thing in terms of technology, because what's going to work is your ingenuity, your skill, and your creativity. And young people like you say, okay, I want to be a finance person. But now with so much of experience, we understand, and a lot of people understand that you're primarily, initially in a functional area, you are good, and you get an opportunity, and then you move up the ladder. You can actually move laterally. Some of the people from finance, they've proved to be very good HR managers, which is unthinkable. But now these silos are also breaking for you. In our times, at least my time, these silos were there. It's breaking. So essentially, you would be paid for being a thought leader rather than being a functional, because a lot of functional things are going to be done by AI and VR and stuff like that. That's my own personal opinion.
So when I was working in Singapore, I joined I think around 2011. The financial crisis happened in 2008. So before the financial crisis, many of the financial products were very complex. Okay, they were not very straightforward. So those were the things that machines could not do. But after 2008, there were a lot of restrictions that were put in. So now many of the complex products cannot be sold. So the products became simpler, and then they can be automated. So by 2011, the job became very boring because it was so simple, so clerical. It was not at all complex. And I think that is what it is going to be. Nobody is going to allow people to do very complex things anymore, at least for at least a lot of people to do it. So the number of jobs which are actually doing very complicated things will definitely be human, but there will be very few in actual finance. Now, with the advances in AI that you're talking about, I think more of the things can be automated. And if they're automated, the number of jobs will definitely decrease. Now, what I would suggest is, if you're actually very good at it, if you're actually very good at finance, if you have the competence, then I don't think you need to worry. There will still be interesting jobs, okay? But if you already develop certain niches, then you will have difficulty. Don't do that. Be very good at finance, all of finance, corporate finance as well as stocks, everything. Then I think you don't need to really worry.
I think the combination of skill sets could also be super powerful now. I think the guys, right now we are in the beginning legs of AI. I think it's been around for donkeys years, but really, as consumers, you're seeing it now. I think the next 10 years is going to be about the finance guys who can use the tool to generate the automation. Because automation is going to be available for anybody and everybody. So all of you should get on places where you can use AI in whichever streams as much as possible. We are all doing. And we are on
Like utilizing
much
financial
older.
tools and becoming more efficient.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I'll give a more general answer also. A lot of you guys are afraid from AI. I feel from the questions, AI, ChatGPT, taking jobs. Again, this is all about upskilling. AI अगर आप यूज़ नहीं कर रहे हो तो आप स्किल नहीं कर रहे हो, you're a fool if you're not using AI यूज़ कर रहा है, मैं भी करता हूँ, बट ना एज इन ए स्टार्टअप लाइक इन ए 10 CEO रूम, ठीक है, अगर तुमको कोई डिसीजन लेना है उसमें तुम्हारा स्किल हेल्प करेगा, AI हेल्प नहीं करेगा, ठीक है, दैट डिसीजन रियल टाइम डिसीजन क्या आउट ऑफ 10 maybe 5 will fail also, ठीक है, बट दैट स्किल विल हेल्प, वहाँ पे AI कोई हेल्प नहीं करेगा, सो AI use as a tool all of you to upskill yourself, don't be afraid of AI and ChatGPT, ठीक है, डरना कुछ नहीं है.
Thank you everyone for participating in this discussion, and thank you all of you. I believe everyone has learned something which they have never read in books or probably in classes, and we got to share our insights. Thank you everyone.
Yeah, it
It
was
was so
lovely.
great to see you guys.
I'm doing a vote of thanks for Anti Ghaziabad. So we started on 28 December. I'm sure admissions committee will agree, and we did Beyond the Books 2.0, and we had invited 2 people. Okay, my heart is filled with gratitude. I think there are some things money can't buy. Okay, this is the things. I don't think I could have bought them with money. Okay, I think there's one universal emotion, which is that emotion.